bit later than usual, but oh well, I had stuff to do. It's not like I do these on any sort of a concrete schedule anyway. So, since no one tuned in last time, and obviously no one's going to be watching this either, but I'll still explain what happened. I went through the entire Halig tree, and I had a few runs at Melania and then got my ass kicked. Honestly, actually, though, I did quite well. I got about a third of the way into her second phase once or twice. Most of the time, though, I have got ideas in mind. Firstly, I remember in my last playthrough that inflicting bleed on her was the only way I could... Bleed and frostbite was the only way I could really consistently do damage to her. I also had the Mimic Tear upgrade at that point, and I think I'm going to have to, unfortunately, go for the Chivalry's Woe trick. Otherwise, I'm just going to lose. If I go for Chivalry's Woe on her, Chivalry's Woe and summon the Mimic Tear, give the Mimic Tear and me both access to this thing, to Malekith's Black Blade. With both of us being able to pull that off, hopefully we'll be able to land it a couple of times. The only problem is, one of the problems is that I currently don't have the Mimic Tear maxed out. I only have it at, what is it? +6. So I'm gonna try that, but it's not gonna work too well the first time. I've also decided that I'm gonna have to swap about my flasks, get myself more healing, especially since Mimic Tear doesn't summon off FP. So, starting off, Chivalry's Woe equipped, then go in here, summon the Mimic Tear, and instantly unequip it. Even at just level whatever it is, the Mac Flame ability. And hopefully it'll eventually use this blade ability. However, as I think we're definitely seeing, it's not really got the oomph you need right now. And neither do I, frankly. Obviously there's other ways to make it a bit better. For instance, take his flame, give it some extra sustainability, but let's be honest, it's not going to work. I'm gonna just show this one again, Blasphemous Blade, go for another run with the Mimic Tear, but at this point it's not going to work. Mimic Tear is not powerful enough, and I think I could probably use a different strategy. However, this actually seems to work quite well. Huge staggering damage. and she aggroes onto him a lot faster than she does onto Oleg. And this is the part where I die, usually. Not this time, though. Oh, nearly! Nearly, but not quite. The problem with this one is, unfortunately, the Blasphemous Blade's ability is not that great. Also, she's pulling that bullshit on him. Still, the fact that he face tanked that is just ridiculous. Fuck, 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 fuck. Right, well there goes the Mimic Tear. And that's Scarlet Rot inflicted on me, so I've lost. But Mimic Tear is only +6 right now, and I'm not getting stomped. That didn't work too well, but that was close. That was very close. In fact, I forgot to... I might actually manage to get this done right now, which would be a shame considering nobody's watching, but I'll tell you what, I'll go away, I'll try to improve my build a little, and then I'll come back. Which reminds me, there's a specific thing around here which I think is useful to me. It's the summon flies thingamajig. I don't mean I can, you know, summon flies. Flies will of course swarm over her and deal bleed damage, and hopefully stack the bleed effect. With that and the Black Flame ability, I'll have Blade, not Blade, Bleed and Flame. There goes my PlayStation, once again telling me that there is a LAN cable connected, as though I didn't know. I'm fully aware there's a LAN cable connected it. I'm the one who connected it. Worked. Hang on, this is bugging me. I forgot to shift the sound over so it's coming out my television and then getting picked up by my microphone and then funneled into my headphones, which makes for a weird delay. Only like a half a second delay, but it's still enough to be noticeable. There we are. Not bad, not bad. Still not what I'm looking for. In fact, these guys don't even seem to be aggroing onto me. Swarm of flies. Okay, well. That's one thing. Now to another. Because there's an area around here I'm quite interested in. I didn't get far enough for it to count as a playthrough. It was a test of a particular build, which, yeah, struggled so much in the early game it really wasn't worth pursuing. I'm sure it would have come online after I'd banged my head against the wall for a few days straight of grinding, but that didn't sound any fun, so I didn't do that. Anyway, point being, There's a large system of roots growing down the side of this cliff somewhere. Nope, fuck. That was not what I wanted to do. Yet another of the deaths I'm quite glad no one was around to see. In hoot. There we are, there were the roots. If anyone just heard that, that was one of my upstairs or downstairs neighbours shouting. I do not know why. I do not want to know why. Potentially, there's some sports on. I don't do sports, unless they're esports, and I barely really follow those most of the time. I watch some pro League of Legends matches, but honestly, I find that watching pro matches sort of gives you bad habits, because you then try to emulate the things the pros do in random games, draft pick, low elo, but of course the things the pros do generally tend to be much more dependent on, you know, everyone knowing what the hell they're doing. Yeah, it's a 5v5 game. It's pretty... what? Okay, he's definitely down there. How did I get down there last time? Okay, my PlayStation seems really insistent today on telling me that there is a LAN cable connected. Yes, I know there's a LAN cable connected. I've known that it's been connected since I connected it a couple of months ago. Why does it keep telling me this? Is there a problem with it? It wasn't telling me. It only tells me that when I'm streaming. I know there's a LAN cable connected. I've done all my streams with a LAN cable connected. It's a very useful thing to have while you're streaming because it prevents, you know, annoying shit from happening. Hop. Anyway, how do I get the rest of the way down? There's the next route. Now, where's... ah, there we are. Big fucking giant. Right there. Giant golem, whatever you call them. He's a big one. In fact, it's a really big one, and it doesn't take a lot of damage. Sure, just, you know, go straight through the wall. Makes perfect sense. No, 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 fuck you! Oh, fucking hell. Really? Sure, let's just have this enemy who can casually yeet you off a cliff. Okay, so keep my back to the cliff, and of course now I have to go through that annoying ass climb again. All for the privilege of fighting that enemy a second time so that I can figure out what in the name of all that is holy is behind that portal. Of course, it's a huge pain, obviously. Everything's a huge pain in this game. No, 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 no. I did not want to summon the Mimic Tear. Bollocks. I wanted to use that. Because that's going to give me the ability to use this, and this is going to be helpful. Because that thing has a lot of max health. Okay, another casual jumping to my death situation. Ah, yes, I can't summon the Mimic Tear as it turns out, but I can at least do this. So that did a good chunk of his health as damage. Now I just sort of hide and let him abuse ridiculous over-the-top hitbox, while I abuse the ridiculousness that is this game's invincibility frames mechanic. See, right there, I just ran straight through something that was swung at my head. It went straight through me and yet dealt me no damage. Whereas I can be not hit by things in the slightest and take no damage from them at all. Or take... that's not what I meant. I meant the opposite of that. See? Like that. That went through a wall before hitting me. That makes sense. Percent max health damage. Okay, yeah, wow, my neighbours are definitely really riled up, so there's got to be something sport-related going on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Everything is impossible to dodge because it goes halfway through walls. Now they're dramatically screaming. Hope nothing actually bad is going on upstairs, because they are making... Again, they do ridiculous bullshit and shout or scream all the time, so it's kind of hard to know. Oh, hello. He's fallen. Hooray! Ooh, not bad, not bad. Okay, that was good. That was good. I'm sure there was a portal here. There was a portal here, right? No, was that just his leg? Okay, so I fought that guy for practically no runes. There's not like a further way down, is there? Nope. Okay, so that was an annoying fight, which killed me once. No runes, no particular reason to continue after it, and there's nothing down here. There's got to be something down here. Did they seriously just put that thing down here for no reason? Seriously. There is nothing. I'm not being thick. There's nothing here. Absolutely bugger all. Was this a spot where I could have maybe sniped Radahn or something? I would have heard about that on one of the videos I watched. It would have been something that was covered. Nope, this is... Why? Why does this exist? Like, what on earth was the point of that? Oh, who cares? Really? I've got no clue what I'm going to do now. Let's see. What else could be useful again? Oh, right, that's what I was doing. I was finding stuff that would be useful against Malenia, and I found some, didn't I? I found out that the Mimic Tear can be much more useful than Oleg in that fight, as it turns out. Who knew? Who knew? Oh, wow, did they make the Mimic Tear overpowered? Yeah, fair enough. And of course I just went to speak to entirely the wrong person about that. Ghost Glowwort 7. Okay, Ghost Glowwort 7. I can probably find that somewhere. Can I buy that? Nope. 1, 2, and 3. That's my max. Yeah, okay, for now I've got nothing. So Ghost Glowwort 7 it was, wasn't it? Maybe I'll find some in here. Night's Sacred Ground, maybe? Oh no, wait, this is not the area I thought it was. Not Kron, the Eternal City. In this big, really open area, which is supposed to be underground. You know what I liked about the underground areas in, you know, the other FromSoft games? They felt underground. They felt like you were, you know, caved in, enclosed. They felt even more claustrophobic than some of the other places in the game. And that was great. You know what's not great? This. I get that theoretically it's meant to just reinforce how small the player is in comparison to the world, to the enemies they face, to the odds against them, but it doesn't really do any of that. The cramped oppressiveness of the former titles was much better at that most of the time. See, these guys can inflict death. I think that's death blight. It looks like death. Oh no, I think that's actually frostbite. Yeah, it's frostbite. But my point is, these guys, what? I would never even remember that they exist. What's the point of them? I remember most of the enemies in Dark Souls 3. I remember every one of the bosses in Dark Souls 3 and how I fought them and where they were, because it was all really interesting and the lore around them was really interesting. The lore around this place, I'm sure, is very interesting, but I'm not very interested in it because, well, none of the areas are particularly interesting to spend time looking at. I know a lot about the world of Dark Souls. I know fuck all about the world of Elden Ring because I don't care about the world of Elden Ring because the world is not well designed. If anyone were around, they'd probably be in the chat complaining about the fact that I spend most of my time complaining about the design of this game, which is true, I do, but I think that's fair because I love this game for its weapons. And that's it. The weapons in this game are why you keep playing. The Blasphemous Blade, Malekith's Black Blade. The incantations are great too, much better than they are in the Dark Souls. You know, it's even stuff like this, the Clean Rot Sword. It just feels nice to use. Power stances are good. Heavy thrusting swords. See, that felt distinct, heavier, compared to the small. Even dumb shit like this. Like I'm hitting people with a bouquet of flowers. This thing. Whee! It's cool, see? Also, surprisingly not heavy. Wow, these things would be fun to dual wield. How much do they do? 55, yeah, that's not bad. Anyway, I'm not going to bother with that. I've already done a build with these things. Well, one of them. I used a Wild Strike Sash of War, it was great. Isn't there a Faith and... Isn't there a Blackfire Sword? There is. Tell you what, that's probably more use than Malekith's Black Blade, honestly. Well, I'm guessing it doesn't proc the passive I know for a fact that it doesn't proc the passive multiple times, but even so, I can use it. It's probably lighter, more efficient for... Screw it, why not? Let's go to this place and try and get that Black Flame Sword. It might give me the edge I need against Malenia. Oh, there's a person watching. Hello, person watching. You've not commented instantly, so I'm guessing you're not Axe. Landline or DCD, probably. Might be Goldskin, I've not seen him in a while. Unless this is just my elite sister, sneaking in a quick watch from her place of work. In which case, hey Chainsaw. Of course, there is the remotest possibility it's an entirely new viewer, which would be nice. Ah, hey Godskin! No, not time for death quite yet. I'm getting all the necessary materials and then I'm going to go and try and fight Malenia again, and then I'm gonna die. They said before instantly jumping to their deaths. Like a fucking lemming. Okay, so let's try that again. Wait, hang on, I'm being dense. I've already got the Blasphemous Blade, and that's what I'm going to be using against Malenia. Hey, Malenia's not boring. I actually find her quite a fun fight. She's much more fun than most of the other games, most of the other bosses in this game. I think she's quite well designed. Unlike, say, this asshole. And this asshole. Oh, gods, you want to see some... Oh, she's boring to watch. She's not that boring to... Well, actually, she is probably boring to watch, because for me, she'll mostly just be fighting, transitioning between me and the Mimic Tower. Gods, I'm going to show you something which perfectly encapsulates everything we've been saying about what's messed up with this game and why the bosses are all so big. Okay, so let's see. Firstly, the arena, if it was this big, would be ridiculous, especially since you really are only going to fight the dragon in this ring, and yet there is even more of it. Keep going, 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 and stop. Right, so it shows me as here. The dragon is there. That's the center, which means this is the radian, which means the diameter of the entire place is somewhere around that. See, it doesn't even... there. It's between the cursor, where I'm here, and here. Sorry. And here. That is the diameter of this arena. What the hell? It's nearly the same size as the entire area. I challenge anybody to tell me that that is a good design. There is no need for any boss arena to be that large. There isn't even a need for this boss arena to be this large. The boss is huge. And it doesn't take up, even the fight doesn't even take up a third of this place. And that's the big point. Empty space. Why does this game have so much of it? The entire thing could be compressed into about a third of its overall size. And it would be, I don't know, much better. It would feel better. There'll be less walking around. I like games with less walking around for no reason. Anyway, I'm not going to revisit one of my favourite rants on how open world is ruining the entirety of video games. I mean, I could return to that rant, but you've probably already heard it. Waterfowl? Sorry, I know you say waterflow. I know that was meant to be waterflow, but you said waterfowl. And I just got this just picture of Melania chucking an otter at me. Or a beaver. Melania just yeeting a beaver by its tail into my face. And then it would do about 90% of my health bar as damage, and then she would just follow up by, I don't know, chucking a... what's another sort of waterfowl? Oh, a duck, obviously. Chucking a duck at me, and then I'd be dead. No, God's waterfowl is stuff like... well, fowl means bird. Sorry, I'm entirely wrong about that thing I said about otters and beavers. No, fowl means bird, so that's a water bird, so things like ducks. In fact, it's pretty much exclusively ducks. I can't think of any other. Oh, swans too. Swans are technically a waterfowl. So yes, no, I don't. I might be wrong. It may be waterfowl. It may be waterfowl dance, but I'm pretty sure it's a. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Freeze because I'm not a big fan of bosses with all those multiple phases. But it was an interesting fight, if not a particularly fun one, because it was designed to be annoying. But yes, I take your point. And honestly, the Freed fight was in such a big open room. Again, that was the beginning of their descent into, oh, let's just make all the bosses be in these ridiculously huge arenas. Remember Gale's arena? What the hell was that? Gale's arena, Medea's arena. At least Medea had the vague reason of it being you know, Medea being the big boss of the game. Mostly, I mean, look at Yorm. If you look at the comparison between Yorm the Giant and this guy, Rykard, whatever he is. Well, Rykard and Yorm are basically the same fight. Rykard's a bit more fun, but you know, you get the special weapon that can do the wind blade thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, anyway, both of them, but Yorm takes place in a much smaller arena, and he's a bit, I'll be honest, he's a bit less fun, honestly. Rykard is the better boss fight, but he is a huge boss, and he makes use of that arena. He fills it. Yorm also filled his. You see, that's a good comparison of scale. You then look at Gale. Yeah. You don't look at the fights with like Gale and Freed and the Demon Princes and all that. They take place in these massive arenas. All the Dark Souls DLC bosses, most of them anyway, take place in these gigantic arenas, 10 times the size you need. Medea, Gale, Freed, all of them. Even that optional boss, what is it, that guy you fight underneath the Colosseum who summons a big wolf. Has a bunch of smaller wolves helping him, and he's got like a gladiator's shield and short sword combo. You know, that's a pretty cool fight, but it's still a pretty huge arena for something that big. Oh, I get that you're meant to, you know, kite the enemies around. That's fair, but at least that one, yes, has a reason to be in the big arena. Gale? What's the reason for Gale? The only useful thing, the only reason I can see for Gale's arena being so big is that you can select what building you want to use, what doorway you want to use to fight him in. Because if you fight him in a doorway, it's a bit easier. Yeah, also the, yeah, you're right, gods, the wolf boss wasn't that great, to be honest, but my point still stands. FromSoft, stop making all your fucking arenas so big. Scale isn't important. Please don't make a dick joke about that. I can see you thinking it. Don't do it. See, the entire game, cut off at Luonia of the Lakes, start here, make this the opening area, make this a second sort of cool optional area, then this being the midpoint of the game, this being some of the later point of the game, making these the sort of after the game, post-game areas, same as they are, and make there be a couple of cool underground areas. And make those underground areas, just a quick thing here, make the underground areas feel, I don't know, maybe like they're underground, like they're, you know, in oppressive caves, like the mines feel. The mines are a good representation of an underground area. These fucking places are not. What in the hell is the point of them being underground? There is no point of these things being underground. You don't feel underground when you're under there. I get that the idea of an entire underground civilization is cool, except for the fact that it's not. Anyway, rant temporarily postponed because I've now completely forgotten what I was doing. What in the hell was I doing? Right, yes, I was looking for Ghost Glowwort number 7. I've got no clue where to find that. Literally none. I'm assuming I only see don't just scale the bosses to match the arena scale and then 3 dots, but I assume you mean also scale the player in some way, or scale the player's speed and maneuverability, so that you think of it more like an Attack on Titan fight, you know? Super speedy, agile thing that can get like kaboomed easily. That would be fun. Let you be dancing around. Make like something like the Bloodhound Step, the automatic dodge. Make the dodging actually feel like dodging, not just abusing iframes. Because that's the entire thing in this game. A dodge roll, it's not a dodge roll. Yep, see? Gods, you're completely right. We're in agreement on this. And yeah, the dodge roll in this game is not a dodge roll. It is a briefly become invincible roll. And that's not interesting, like in the slightest. Why on earth would I want to do that? Also, do you have any idea where I can find Glowvork? Because I have no idea. I'm going back to this catacombs place. But I think I've cleared most of these places out of whatever they had, and I don't know where to find it. Oh good, this fucker. Hey. Yeah, you can die now. That's not gonna hit. Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. Sekiro's counters, they were cool. Bloodborne sidesteps, they were actually pretty cool. And then you have dodge rolling, which looks dumb and doesn't feel cool. You know what a cool thing would be? The Tarnished, they're basically undead, right? In some way. I think. I'm pretty sure. The Tarnished are basically undead things brought back to life to, you know, do whatever this game's equivalent of linking the fire is, unless I'm completely wrong about that. I don't really pay attention. Assuming that's what the Tarnished is, make them become ghosts for a second, so that you can, you know, press circle, you are briefly a ghost, over the span of the time it would take you to roll, and do a little shuffle. Or just, like, keep running. May there not be a dodge roll mechanic, because there's no point in there being a dodge roll mechanic. Because you're not dodging anywhere, and you're generally rolling around things the size of Venus. Which makes the dodge rolls themselves redundant, because you're not dodging out of the way of anything. The only time a dodge roll is actually... Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, just like like you say, like the Castle Soul Knights. Give us that as our basic dodging ability. It'll be a much more interesting dodge mechanic, because you would actually be dodging something. I mean, sure, you'd be briefly invisible and invincible, but even so, it would still feel like you were dodging. Or just, you know, make Bloodhound step. The worst part is they have two superior options to the dodge roll already coded into their game. Bloodhound step is better in every way than the dodge roll. Why wouldn't you just make that the standard? You know, it gives you a brief invincibility frame, it lets you reposition yourself around the enemies in a way that actually makes some sense, because, you know, it takes you a bit further, and since everything in this game is so huge, the extra distance is actually useful. Yeah, but you need to remove any ability to use an Ash of War. If you want to, well, you have to take up your one Ash of War slot if you want to use dodge roll. Not dodge roll, Bloodhound Step, which is far superior to dodge roll. The only way I can really see that working is if you had it equipped while using, say, a what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, a spellcastery build. Mages or such. No, Ash of Wars don't work in your left hand, mate. At least I don't think they do. No, I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm gonna try that, hang on. Now I've got this equipped in my left hand. Nope, I press L2. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, okay, well that's... But let's be honest, who in the hell's gonna do that, really? The one version I've actually been able to make a Bloodhounds build work for me is when I spent the first half hour of the game grinding against those skeletons. Yeah, I spent the first half hour of the game grinding against those skeletons you can find early on. I got 2 grave scythes, and then I equipped the Bloodhound Step Ash of War to each of them. What was I doing? Oh yeah, that's the one. See this? This is just so much better. It's the far superior version to the thing they decided to give you. Just why? Just why? That's the question you ask. Why would you have a better option than the thing you put in your game and then decide to deliver it? Well, of course they did, because they buff and nerf the entire game based on what people do in PvP. Which is dumb, because this isn't a PvP game, it's a PvE game. I know it is also a PvP game, but the majority of people, they're going to spend what? Sure, they may spend 100 hours on the PvP part. But bollocks, that's a grave one, not a ghost one. But they will spend 3 times that long in the game itself, in the PvE section. And yet the PvE section gets made infinitely worse by the fact that they're constantly tailoring all the things they change about to the PvP builds. So I might actually start doing this, equipping this one and then because it's not a bad way of doing it. And then switch to the Bloodhound, the Blasphemous Blade. I mean, I have to remember to two-hand it every time, which is a bit of a pain, but I need to do that anyway, because if I'm going to use... Oh yeah, I've already done that. If I'm going to use Black Flame abilities. Well, any of my incantations, really. Yeah, you know what would be cool if you could like cycle between weapon skills the same way you can between incantations, but make the weapon skills use stats and like faith and intelligence. I mean, they already consume MP, so they're a bit like casting spells, so just let you cycle through them. For instance, I was building this. I started as I don't remember exactly what I started off. I think I started as a knight or something. And I had 3 great swords. I had the Lord Sworn's great sword with that, what's it called, Lion's Claw for poise damage and then critical hits. And I had, it was the Bastard Sword or the Claymore with that wind slash ability for long-ranged combat, and the fact that it had a slightly more effective moveset. And then I had, I think my third weapon was a knight's great sword or something, and I had it with the Ash of War you get from here. What's it called? Whatever it's called, the Blood Slash. And I had it infused with bleed. I had the Blood Slash, and that would be the weapon I would use if I needed to bleed an enemy. So I'd have one for staggering and critical hits, one for trading at long distances, and one for proccing bleed. I'll make sure my claymore was a bit more leveled up than the other two. Yeah, that's it. See, yeah, that's it, Godskin. Yeah, Blood Slash, exactly. Thanks. I still have no idea where I'm meant to go to look for this Ghost Glove Vault 7. I've got no clue. Could be anywhere. Hero's Grave, maybe? No. Oh, what about, where was it? This place. I never finished here, did I? Oh, you're correct about that. Actually, what, trading? Yeah, not trading. What's the word I'm looking for? I didn't mean trading. Poking, that's it. Poke damage. Of course, a bow is normally better for that, but basically I was using 3 great swords, and the great swords themselves were like, they each had their own ability. I was just thinking, why not just make it so that you can equip more abilities onto a greatsword? Give yourself the ability to give players the ability to have one ability at the start of a weapon, and then at plus 10 you can have a second ability equipped, and then at plus 20 you can have a third. That would have been a cool mechanic, and it would have made the weapons leveling system much more interesting. Especially since Ash of Wars is so ubiquitous to the gameplay. I used the word ubiquitous on stream. He'll never shut up about it. Anyway, as I was saying, Ash of Wars is so important to the gameplay. Die. That you need to have a couple of weapons, simply for the fact that you never want to be limited just having one Ash of War, really, in your kit. Unless you go for a really, really one-note kit. Of course he's got a shit boss. It's an area in Elden Ring, most of them do. Fuck! I was trying to line that up, and then I died. I don't like this area, just to clarify. I really don't like it. So my mic keeps picking up noises from like my upstairs and downstairs neighbours, so I think it's one of those Sentinel Knights, isn't it? You fight a Sentinel Knight down here. I just remember it absolutely wrecking me last time because I found this place when I was, going through the Atlas Plateau area, and it completely destroyed me. You know what else is a ridiculous thing in this game? Death Blight. Because enemies can use it, but you got Madness is another one. Let you make the bosses insane. That would have been an interesting mechanic to have. Make the bosses go loony. Would have been fun. Did we do that? Did the developers think of that? No. What the? It's just so much. This game is. You know what this game has? Axe? Oh, not Axe, Gods. You know what it has? It has an identity crisis. This game is suffering from the same identity crisis as a 16-year-old with dyed hair. I know I was one. Oh good, it's 2 of these fuckers. I remember now, yeah, it's 2 of them. And you don't even have time to summon. Thank you. Right, you can aggro onto me, asshole. See, this would never work if I was rolling this sort of strategy. Oh, bugs. Fuck. Yep, that. Why does this work better? Maybe this was not the correct boss to dick about with, honestly. Ordovy's greatsword, whatever that means. Oh, this one scales off faith. Let's see what it does. I'm not going to read the description, I'm just going to use it. Oh! Nice! I can only assume it's actually completely useless. And does very little actual damage. Still, it might be useful. Orvix's Vortex. Channel the power. The skill can be charged to increase attack. Oh, I see. So if I just did this, kaboom, but if I hold it in longer... yes, holy damage. And if I want a cool sword that does holy damage, why would I not just get this one, which does increase critical damage and scales better off dex than it does strength, which I have more of. Actually, I don't have more strength, actually, don't I? My point is, yeah, it's not a particularly useful addition to my arsenal right now, because I've got something much better in the Blasphemous Blade, and if I was going for another, and I actually have something much better in Malekith's Black Blade too, and I have something equally much better in this thing, which I still maintain is a cool weapon to have. See, if I had... See, even without even without MP at all, this is much better than... This is much better than dodge rolling. And you know what else? This thing will automatically dodge you around an enemy. Does that work for the others? No. And of course now I have to go through the misery of trying to land that annoying ass jump. Leaving... I'm not interested, you dumb skeletons. I actually don't know, gods. I have no idea if it has iframes. But that should... Well, I know it isn't, but I'm saying... Technically, it should be... Ag! Fuck you! Entirely irrelevant if something has iframes or not. Because the point of a dodge roll should be to dodge. Fuck! Gonna have to try that again. Please, please, please tell me it brings me back. No, it does not bring me back to the stake because I've beaten the fucking boss. Sod it, I'm not going back. This area can remain forever incomplete. And I still do not know where to get that damn ghost wart, wherever it is. Dragon Temple, maybe? Or this area? Ghost Glowwort 7. Where do I find that? I imagine I found it in one of the areas, but I imagine I've area of it. Oh, I'm pretty sure there was some in cleared that area. It's not going. There's nothing left. So where am I meant to find whatever's next? Also, what's this? Can I be bothered to go and find out? No, I can't. See, I'm not going to fight Melania with a +6. Whatever it's called. Mimic Tear, that's the word I'm looking for. +6 Mimic Tear, am I? That would be idiotic. Well, and I know that because I've just tried it a few times and it didn't work too well. I got no clue where to find the next upgrade material. I think it was here, the hallowed tree roots. Right. Let's memorize some spells. That's another one, gods. We definitely need more loading screen. How? Gods, I ask you, how in the name of all that's holy can a game this huge feel rushed? Why? Why? Why does it feel rushed? Nothing this big should feel rushed. Look at Horizon Forbidden West. That doesn't feel rushed. It's huge, yes. But the areas, you know, traversal is important. There's wild things roaming about. Interesting random encounters. I was playing today, I got jumped by a whole pack of clamberjaws and had to fight my way out in the middle of a forest. That was interesting, and halfway through the clamberjaws fight, a bloody one of those acid raptor machines came running at me and nearly killed me. Not to mention, the neutral game is the whole point of that, and considering you play with entirely, apart from the spear, which you're not going to be fighting enemies with if you're smart, considering you play with entirely ranged options in that game, it makes sense that it's quite big. You snipe enemies from far away. You want to play a bow build in this game? I don't think so. Because for one thing, the arrows cost a ridiculous amount of money to build. For another, even if you actually do manage it, it'll still suck. Right, so. Summon this one, aggro her onto this bastard and then pelt her with Dragon Ice and hopefully, should work. Well, probably won't work actually, but it might at least buy me a sec. Oh, hello. I think that worked. I think it frostbit her. Yep, that means frostbite is done, which means... Oh, she is not resistant to frostbite, is she? which, you know, would be nice if, apart from the fact that she still has a ridiculous amount of damage and heals when she attacks you. And him. No, I'm dead. Still not bad. Next time I need to figure out a way to prevent that from happening, but mostly... Hey, I may have died, but I got closer than usual. I got to the second phase pretty easily, honestly. That's only I've mimicked Tear plus 6. No, bollocks! I drank the wrong one. There's the one thing about this boss that's fair, it's that she at least staggers when you damage her. She has a reasonable amount of stagger. Not a lot of bosses can say that. Not a lot of bosses in this game can proclaim to have a reasonable amount of anything, really. Fuck. Oh, bullocks. Well, at least she targeted him instead of me. She targeted him again. Come on, he clutches it. Yes! Ha ha! Victory! Oh man, that was fun. Remembrance of the Rot Goddess. With a +6 Mimic Tear. The god, the summons in this game are ridiculous too. Well, I have one viewer, but I completed the most annoying, well, not annoying, actually one of the most fun fights in the game, but the hardest fight in the game is completed, and exactly one person bore witness. Hooray! Now what the fuck should I do? Hey, gods, do you have any idea how to fight this dragon? Because I've talked to Fia a few times. Do I kill her? Or do I say no, I want to be held? Like, I have no clue. Does killing her prevent me from fighting the big dragon? Or does killing her make the big dragon attack me? I should probably level up. Thank you, gods. Right, well, time for another fight then. Well, at least now I get why they made this animation so dramatic. Well, that's nice. I got no clue where it is though. Gods, on a scale of 1 to 10, how annoying is the rigmarole I will have to go through to fight this damn thing? Holy hell, that's a face. That is a big, ugly, creepy face. And believe it or not, we're underground! This is underground! Okay, so what you're essentially telling me is there's no real point in fighting this. Is it even a particularly fun fight? Do you like it, or is it subject to all of the same annoyances that all of the dragon fights are victim to, which is the fact that they're too big, generally aren't that interesting, and it's mostly a battle with the camera instead of a battle with the actual boss? It's going to be that one, isn't it? Yeah, it looks cool. It's got a couple of other bells and whistles on it, but it's basically the same thing. Okay, not doing that then. One thing I will perhaps do is go through Rea Lucaria and change up. It would be hard to be worse than Placidusax. Is that how you pronounce it? Placidusax? That sounds like the sort of thing you read on a box you get from a pharmacy. Placidusax. Take 2 with food every day. And it sounds exactly like the sort of thing that will, cure constipation or diarrhea. It's got the word placid in it. Placidusax. Do you suffer from severe anal retention? Try Placidusax. Yeah, another thing, gods. He teleports. He disappears and then reappears somewhere else. Oh yeah, isn't a boss that does that fun? Yes, it is. Do you know when a boss that teleports around is fun? Not funny, gods. You know when a boss that teleports around is fun? When they're small, when they're agile. You know what's not cool? When a giant boss teleports, appears behind you, and hits you with a giant attack which you can't see because it came from off camera. But I liked Dark Souls 2. I like Dark Souls 2 because of all the dudes in armor fights. I know lots of people don't like those, but I really enjoy them. I really like fighting someone who's just a guy in some armor, who's clearly had something of their own going on. Oh, Christ, what a stick. Oh, look! Oh, wow. A dragon who jumped in the air and is now breathing fire at me. Oh, wait, it's not fire. It's an interesting dragon. How are we gonna make this dragon interesting, guys? Thoughts? Thoughts? Shall we make his breath blue? Ooh, let's give him one unique attack he can do. Let's give him a big glintstone attack. That's really interesting. No, it isn't. Hooray, he's dead. Now I can go get that thing in peace. Gods, could you remind me, what was I ranting about before I started fighting the big dragon? Oh, well, actually, I was probably ranting about how all the bosses in this game are the same, wasn't I? And then I was fighting a dragon. Of course, I might have been. Oh yeah, no, I was complaining about the idea of a gigantic enemy teleporting, and then basically the whole fights with the camera system. Because that's the worst thing in this game. The scale, yeah, that's one of them, but also just the camera. Radon. This bastard. You'll notice I don't even deign to say that thing's name anymore, I just call it this bastard. Radon, this bastard, this dragon I'm not gonna fight, this dragon I did fight for reasons I do not understand even myself. All of them are in such huge arenas. You know what two of my favourite fights in this game were? This one, in the Haligtree Promenade, where I fought Loretta for the second time. Well, actually, both the Loretta fights are among my favourites, because I liked the fight, because it was fun, because she had a really cool moveset, and it felt like you were fighting someone. And him, Margit, a character with a really cool backstory, and whose fight is really interesting, and then you fight him again, over here. And you know what? It's interesting again. And then you fight him once more up here, and you know what? This time he's not holding back at all. Yeah, Loretta was like a Dark Souls 3 boss. Yeah, because if there's one thing that this game did right, it's the weapons. They're better than they were in Dark Souls 3, and even so, I can still see room for improvements, as I've mentioned before. But everything else, Dark Souls 3 just does better. Dark Souls 3 specifically, the base game, the DLCs were kind of ass, if we're being honest. Yeah, Loretta is a good fight, and you know what? For that reason, Loretta's more memorable than half the other fights. Also, I'm sorry to beat a dead horse on this one, pun not intended. But let's go from south to north. Let's look at how many of these bosses you're going to fight. Okay, let's see. This guy, Misbegotten, whatever you call it. How many times do you fight those things in the game? Let's say just as bosses. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can think of at least 6, probably more. Then you go further north. This guy, Bloodhound, how many of those are in the game? A whole bunch, but even so, I think this is kind of an optional boss. It's not really a boss, okay. But here, who do you fight in this guy? One of those damn watchdogs, and there's like 10 of those, and they're never interesting. Down here, in the Fringe Folk hero grave. Who do you fight? You fight one of those rotten things. Are they interesting? No. Do you fight them 10 times in the game? Yes. Who do you fight down here? A regular enemy dressed up as a boss. Who do you fight in here? One of the only unique bosses in the whole game. In fact, he may be the only boss you fight once in the game. No, Rykard. You fight Rykard one time. You fight Radahn one time. You fight Godric, or Godfrey, or whatever you call the guy. Godric, yeah. You fight Godric one time. You fight her one time. You don't fight the final boss of Rani's questline one time. You fight him twice. You also fight the Astel things like 4 times. Apart from the rune bosses, every single boss you fight at least twice, probably more times. The Magma Worms you fight a whole bunch of times. The Godskin Apostles and Godskin Nobles you fight a bunch of times. The dragons are all the same. How can you have a game with so many bosses and make them all the same? Why? Why would you do that? I cannot conceive of the mind of a person who would look at this game and say, yes, this is completed, and then someone said to them, hey, do you think we should make some of the bosses actually unique? And then they said, no, of the 200 bosses we have, of the 200 boss fights in this game, at least like 5 or 6 of them are unique. That's not enough. Exactly, the millionth Leonine Misbegotten. Like, I'm all for the trope of you fighting an enemy as a boss in the beginning, and then you fight them as a regular enemy later on, okay? So for the Leonine Misbegottens, that's not such a bad thing. But I mean, around here, I don't remember exactly where it is, you fight one of the plants in a small room. You fight a plant and they call it a boss fight. There's a whole bunch of areas around here where the final boss is a clean rot knight. What? The tree sentinel knights you fight everywhere, sometimes as regular enemies, sometimes as bosses, and they're annoying as hell in both. The Night Riders, or whatever you call them, you fight all over the place and they always suck. It just doesn't make any sense to me that you would look at these things. These are meant to be aliens from the... These are aliens or something, magic aliens, and you fight them all over the place, just casually wandering around. Fight one on top of a mountain, one in this crater down here, one in a mine over here. You find them all over the place. Why do you find these things all over the place? What is the point? It would have been a fun boss if you made me fight it once, in a cool area. Make me fight it in a crater, sure, on top of a mountain, that's fine. Don't make me fight it 3 more times. I don't want to fight it 3 more times. I want to have fought it once and for it to be memorable. You know what was memorable? This bastard! This guy with his annoying ass sword. That was a memorable fight. You know what was memorable to me? The first Godskin Apostle I fought and lost to, because I fought her at the bottom, him or her, whichever, at the bottom of this place. That was a memorable fight. The next 10 times I fought Godskin Apostles was not memorable. Not memorable at all. Why? Because I'd already done it. Godskin Duo boss fight? What was that about? I'd already fought 2 Godskins in this cave. I'd already fought 1 in Volcano Manor. I'd already fought a couple of the regular ones. One around here, I've fought a couple more over here, and then you're just saying, oh, by the way, we're going to make you fight even more Godskin enemies. And, sorry, quick question, when is the next interesting boss going to show up? Well, about that, we're not going to have one. Malekith. Malekith's memorable. You fight him once, he's interesting. It was memorable the first time. Actually, it was memorable. He's memorable each time you fight him. He's got a cool weapon, an interesting moveset. He feels unique. This whole game, half of it just feels copied and pasted. It's like... Have you ever watched Arcane? Gods, have you ever watched Arcane? It's a pretty good show on Netflix. I make AMVs with it sometimes on my other channel. I'm conversing with you here because I don't want to just talk ad nauseum. Please, again, don't tell Axis to use the words ad nauseum. He'll never shut up about it. So I'm waiting for him to reply, but he might not. He might not even be here anymore. He was a minute ago. Gods, he's still there. Hey there, Sidney. What's up with 50 Dog? Anyway, Gods, you still around? Or have you tagged out? Or have you tagged out of the stream that this day arrived? Yes. Yeah, we know that your dog is stupid, man. We're aware of it. He is a big, stupid, and, as far as you can tell, smelly dog. I, of course, don't know, because my nose is basically ornamental. And not even a particularly nice to look at ornament, is it? Really? Ah, right. Yeah, this is it. I know. Good, you never answered my question. Have you watched Arcane? Because I was like midway through a rant and then I asked you that question and like hoped you'd answer it. Yeah, by the way, yes, I am spamming L2. Of course I'm spamming L2. It's the only useful button in the game. Circle isn't particularly useful, is it? X isn't particularly useful. L2 is the useful item. The useful button, I mean. Well, gods, in Arcane there is a very sad scene between two characters, one of whom is dying, and they're both kind of... They were scientists, and they tried to like make they tried to make a whole bunch of things which made the world better. And of course they all got, well, both of them, really, in their own ways, got kind of wrapped up in the whole God complex sort of thing of we changed the world, and one guy sort of tried to bring his own mortality back into question because he was dying from a disease and then thought he could bastardize his magical technology to keep himself alive, and the other guy turned that magical technology into weapons, which was the one thing he swore he'd never do, and contributed to an oppressive government, and so on and so forth. And they both went through really unpleasant stuff, and then they had this really touching moment, and there was this one line which I think resonates and works perfectly well to describe Elden Ring, and it is that we were so focused on doing great that we forgot to do good. And this game is that. They were so focused on making it big, amazing, huge, spectacular. They forgot the fundamental thing while making a game is to make it good. Would you stop jumping around, please? I'm not interested, mate. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it is. Because this is a great, spectacular game, but it's not a good one. Not really. It looks nice. The weapons are all cool. The bosses are all objectively cool. Apart from the fact you fight them 3 times and coolness has depreciating returns. But they're not... It's not a well-designed game. It's not well-balanced. The mechanics don't fit together in a particularly interesting way. There's a lot of empty space. There's a lot of spots where you can just ask the question, why this? Why did they put this in the game? And the answer you'll inevitably get for most of the times you ask that question, the answer you'll end up with is to fill empty space. It's a wonderful world. I know enough of the lore to know it's got an amazing lore, amazing backstory. So the story's great, the weapons are good, the armor... Well, the armor's not that great either, honestly. Some of the armor's cool, like some of the armors give you like special effects, that's nice. The one that gives you extra ability on the jumping attacks, that's great. But most of the armor's pretty boring. And it's such a shame because you have fights like this, and this is a pretty fun fight, you know? Well, not this part of it, obviously. This opening stage is fantastically dull. It's a game of whack-a-mole. Right, there you go, you're dead. Exactly, but that's also not the other... We've said this before, guys. I don't know if it was you or me that said it first. But on the past, when we've been over this subject, we got it pretty much bang on, which is that they tried to... The Souls games worked because they felt oppressive. You felt like you were fighting against this world that did not want you. Wait. Why did it change the one I was targeting? That sucks. I was targeting her, not the others. There you go. You're dead. Yes, we know Urani's daughter. We know Urani's mother. That's not really a particularly interesting revelation at this point. The fact that she brings us to a parallel dimension to fight us and then does nothing but stand on a lake is a bit, you know, stupid in my opinion. Like, seriously? Later on, I fight a couple of Godskin Noble and Godskin Apostle. They're supposedly, what, more powerful than her? They can't be more powerful than her. She dragged me to another dimension to fight me. So, the question is now, should I change up my stats? It's not just that, gods. It's also the fact that everything... Oh, it's the same thing. It's too big. They tried to... The games work because they were oppressive. This game tries to be oppressive by granting you too much space. By making everything so big, it's meant to feel oppressive, like it's dwarfing the player, but it kind of doesn't. It's just an open world game. It's the open world games, the word that comes to mind is player freedom. Incorporating player freedom into something which follows the same basic recipe as Dark Souls, that's wrong. There's no other way to describe it. That's just wrong. So I'm gonna play through I think I'm going to play through again. I'm going to use what's the name's katana. The fact that I only get another 400 and something odd health from this, and the fact that that 400 health will be gone in another one hit is ridiculous. Like, that's 33 extra levels in vigor, and I can take one more hit from most bosses. That is really stupid. That's really, really dumb. Why would you do that? Why? Just why? Should I try intelligence, or should I just really just go for a pure dex build next time? You say 60 vigor is the goal. Is that the, what's it called, the hard cap or something? Right, well, back here. Ow. That was my elbow cracking. Apologies for that. I'm sure it's not a particularly pleasant noise. I might as well acquire her equipment too. I'm going to mix the Briar kit with Melania's kit, because the Briar armor is actually pretty cool. I love it's Melania's gauntlet, not gauntlets, because she's only got the one. Hand of Melania. Yeah, Gods, you don't need to tell me what would happen if you strip Melania naked. She gets naked during the fight, remember? Okay, so what should I do? Should I play through the entire? Should I play start the next game with a fully leveled up weapon? I might as well. Hey, you're right. It is Waterfowl Dance. Oh yeah, getting to her is a nightmare. I'm honestly kinda glad no one was around in the stream watching me while I was trying to get there in last stream, because, oh boy, it wasn't fun. Yeah, let's level this thing up. That's that. Right. And now. It. Oh god, the archers and the snow and the... Both of them, no, actually, the Haligtree I don't dislike very much as an area. I mean, I got lost while I was there. I got lost a lot. But I actually don't dislike the Haligtree itself. But, oh my god, that snow area, it is the worst. It is the worst thing ever designed. Like, the archers, they deal too much damage. You can't counter bow them, or whatever you call that. It's just the worst. And then you got the invisible guys who'll backstab you out of nowhere and deal all of your health as damage. Wait. Oh, right, yeah, I haven't finished the game, have I? Shite, I forgot that. I never actually never actually got the ending. Well, let's watch the ending. Yep, they unlimited arrows, unlimited stamina. Yeah, they never stop. Yeah, invisible assassins. Honestly, Melania's kit with the Briar Gauntlets and... Oh look, I've become Ghost Rider with the Briar Gauntlets and Briar Greaves is actually a really cool look. Holy hell, I am Sauron! When did that happen? Oh yeah. Yeah, honestly, the Haligtree itself, not such a bad dungeon, quite fun to play through. But the rest of it, yeah, kinda sucked. Yeah, we get it, okay? We get it. Everything's like on fire now. How interesting. Is that it? Is that... No, there's still more. There's still more. There's... I don't care. I know we debated for a long time what ending I was gonna get, but I don't care. Yeah, sure, let's begin Journey 2. Oh look, the same loading screen I've seen a million times. Oh look, an intro sequence. Bye. And now I do this. You all know something I question? Why did they not give the Mimic Tear that you summon the same AI as the Mimic Tear you fight? Why? Should I go through the tutorial area? No, I don't think I shall. Yeah, honestly, the Mimic Terror is already so good. I'm not really complaining. Oh, Melania's helmet is a swan. That makes sense. Waterfowl dance. Got it right. Just a swan motif. That's nice. Nothing else in her appearance says swan at all. And why waterfowl, I do not know. Hey, I'm not cosplaying Melania. See, I've got unique armor, unique gauntlets and greaves on. Hey, you. Hi. I'm gonna kill you. 'Cause screw you, you bastard. Hooray, he's dead. Who do I think you are? I think you're a bastard. Thing has huge range, and yet most of the attacks miss. Because even most of the longest katanas are entirely useless. I'm liking the extra health though. It's nice. Yeah, I know I died to that thing, but quite honestly I wasn't even giving it my effort. I was just kind of, limit testing this new weapon. And seeing how New Game Plus affects the game, because honestly I've never done a New Game Plus. Turns out it makes everything basically just have a million more health and do a lot more damage. Sure, why not? As if there wasn't already enough of that in the game. Christ's sake. Not quite certain how to, make that thing attack a second time. Ow! I'm also really not a fan of all the constant knockback. I healed! What the hell? I pressed heal there and it didn't heal me. So this is telling me that New Game Plus is gonna suck, really. It's just gonna take everything annoying about the last playthrough and make it worse. Oh well, let's go. Go on, fight number 3, dude. Let's actually try to, win this time. That attack right there is so cheap. Stop! Why? Why does the dodge roll exist? You don't dodge anything! It's not a dodge roll! You're not dodging anything! See there? That was one time that a dodge was an actual dodge. You can't get far enough away, you can't get out of reach of any of the enemies by dodging them. Your only real option is ever to dodge into an enemy. At which point, why call it a dodge? Also, these things don't bleed. Are they made of tree? Is that why they don't bleed? Actually, lots of the things that are made of tree in this game bleed too, so... Yeah, whatever. Well, that was nice. Okay, what's next? Golden Halberd, thank you so much. I really need that right now. It's really useful to have on hand. I also love how this is a plus 10 sword. It does very little damage. It doesn't do very little damage. It does a lot of damage, and yet it doesn't do much damage. Of course, I've probably not got the right equipment for it either. I mean, ideally I would have this to raise my dexterity to do more damage. I'd have that thing which makes successive attacks do more. This one, blood loss in vicinity, increases my attack damage. And well, bother raising my incantations. I won't reduce the FP consumed by skills either. Raises the maximum HP, stamina equipment. Yeah, I might as well have that one. Yeah, successive attacks restore HP. Anyway, let's go fight Margit. I like fighting Margit. So, gods, I'm assuming you're the one still in the chat. Someone else showed up very briefly, but that may have just been Chainsaw or DCD. I'm assuming you're the one still here. You say you don't watch much, apart from, obviously, Elden Ring live streams. But, what other games do you watch live streams of? Oi, genius. I can't... Buy your own dye. You can order it off the internet. That's what I did for years while I lived in the same damn village as you. Shut up, Melania, no one cares. You're not Melania. Who's she again? But... Well, tell you what, gods, I like random games. What other games do you enjoy? You say the other games you enjoy don't get streamed? What other ones do you enjoy? I seem to have annoyed Dissidy and he's gone off in a huff. Because the counter of number of people watching has just gone down. Bugger, I just remembered I left my phone in the other room. I'm going to go away briefly and get my phone in case I've been texted by anyone. Because otherwise the worry of someone maybe dying and I don't have my phone is going to drive me insane. Yep, nothing. But I have my phone now, and now I don't need to worry about getting texted by someone and then not seeing them. Anyway. I'm definitely going to have a bow in this playthrough too, if I can manage it. Ooh, hello, another person. You disappear again. Or are you another person? Like Axe, landline. I've been good. We talked like yesterday or the day before, or wherever it was. So you should know how I've been. But I've been quite good. It's been a week since I was last at work, which feels weird. But now my contract. Yeah, since my contract ended. It does feel a bit strange to not be working for an entire 8 days straight. But CM? What's CM? Oh, Clash. I guess. It's not a bad game. And he's gone again. Oh, hop, skip, and jump. Yeah, whatever. Oh god, the chat's gone wrong again. I'm seeing stuff from when me and Gods were ranting back and forth like half an hour ago. Why must we do this? I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Also, should I try using the claws in this playthrough? Maybe I should. Dex build. I've got Dex anyway, I may as well use the claws. Might be fun. I'm mostly running a bleed build anyway, I might as well. Right, and now for a guy in big armor, which means he's not going to stagger no matter how many times I hit him. That was fun. He did stagger actually, and his guard breaks quite easily too. What's that one do? Curved sword, whatever. Enhances guard counters. Weird for a curved sword. Wouldn't that be more like the spear thing? The spear one would make more sense, as spears are most... Oh, bollocks, I've got to get the key. Now, I know for a fact that there are a bunch of cool jumps with this weapon's Ash of War. I don't have a care enough to remember what they are or how to do them, so, you know. It's a shame that gods, you know, gods seem to have gone again. Oh well. Then again, maybe he's not gone and maybe it's just my PlayStation being wrong again because it's messed up the chat as per usual. I wonder what happens if I then... Tell you what if I pause the broadcast and then return to it? Maybe that'll work. Will that make the chat not be wonky anymore? Might not, who knows. I'm gonna keep nattering on as though someone's watching, although I don't think I'm far in this playthrough, to be honest. No, I'm not going to Round Table Hold. Go away. It's the other Site of Grace where you do that jump. No, it's not. I was just angled in the wrong direction. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, yeah, that's it. That was the way. And of course, the fact that that obsession eventually just sort of leads to his cannibalizing his own people. Well, not cannibalizing exactly, but yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess it's not really a better word for it than cannibalizing, yeah. He takes his own people and, like, it's really ridiculous. And a very good representation of how rich people think. Rykard has it right, I'm afraid. Eat the rich. Except for the fact that Rykard's no better than them, so... Well, I don't know why people say... Frankly, there's not a lot of them, so they wouldn't make for very good livestock. Also, I imagine the chemicals they pump into themselves all the time probably make them a bit unpleasant as far as mouthfeel and general meatiness goes. Anyway, let's go kill this bastard again. Right, I think... Hello. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know what, this boss would be an ideal thing to do? how they could ideally make this boss more interesting. Give you the ability to cut bits off him. Make it so he's constantly losing bits as he fights. That'll be interesting, wouldn't it? You may be the lord of all that is golden, but you're dead. Screw you. Nobody's around, and I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. It was nice seeing gods, and obviously always nice seeing Dissidy. That's a face. No, that's not a face. It's just, you know, marks in the wall, but it looks like a face. Looks like there's a big face in that wall. I honestly quite like the arena in this place too. I mean, that thing in Pale, boss arena. The gnarled trees make for an interesting visual aspect. All the discarded weapons. This is what I'd say is the right way to do a boss arena.